Okay, imagine this. A book written way back, like 1937. And it claims it can help you gain influence, deal with complaints better, make people actually enjoy talking with you, even get folks genuinely excited about things.
And it doesn't just fade away. This book becomes this massive, unexpected hit. We're talking over 10 million copies sold, translated into, what, 36 languages?
Yeah.
And people still find it relevant today. It's kind of amazing, really.
It absolutely is. And that lasting power, that's why we're doing this deep dive. We've gathered, a bunch of sources, mostly centered around excerpts from that classic book, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Right. And our goal here, our mission for this dive, is to really boil it down, to pull out the core insights, those practical principles for understanding people and, well, just getting along better. Hopefully help you quickly get up to speed on what makes it so effective.
Carnegie actually kind of stumbled into this. He was teaching public speaking, right? But he saw adults needed something more fundamental. Not speaking to crowds, just interacting, getting along with each other.
Yeah, and it wasn't just his gut feeling. There's this big survey, University of Chicago and the YMCA schools did it. It took 2 years. They asked thousands of adults what they really wanted to learn. And after health, the number one thing.
How to deal with people.
Exactly. How to understand them, get along, make people like you, win them over to your way of thinking, all that stuff.
And when they looked around, there wasn't really a practical guide, like a textbook for this. So Carnegie's book basically aimed to fill that gap. Okay, so we see why it was needed. But how did the sources say we should actually learn this stuff? Because just reading it isn't enough, right?
Definitely not. The sources really stress that. You can't just read it passively. Carnegie says you need a real desire, like a deep urge to master these ideas. You got to picture the payoff. A richer life, being happier, more popular, feeling, more worthwhile. Connecting your success directly to how well you handle people.
That makes sense. Motivation first. And the way to read it is interesting, too. Skim it first, get the big picture, then go back chapter by chapter, really dig in. But the key part, maybe the hardest part, is actually doing it, constantly applying it.
Exactly. Like the book says, learning is an active process. We learn by doing. You can know these principles inside out, but if you don't use them day in, day out, they just don't stick.
And let's be honest, it's not always easy. The sources point out our default mode is often, finding fault, criticizing. It's just easier than trying to see someone else's point of view or giving genuine praise. It takes real effort to change those habits.
It really does. And Carnegie, he had this system, kind of inspired by Ben Franklin. Every week, he'd look back. What mistakes did I make? What did I learn? He said it wasn't always fun facing his own blunders.
I bet.
But over time, he found it massively improved his judgment, his ability to deal with people.
That's a great idea. So you could do something similar, like a weekly review. Or the source also mentions keeping a sort of diary, but just for the wins. Times you did use a principle successfully. Jot down who, when, what happened. Seeing that progress could be really motivating.
Yeah, focusing on the successes.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the principles itself.
Huh, good point. Okay, so we've got the background, why it matters, how to approach learning it. Let's dive into the actual principles. The sources group them, starting with how to get people to genuinely like you. 6 key ideas here.
First one, and it's maybe the most important, become genuinely interested in other people. And that's genuinely, not faking it, really wanting to know about them.
That story about the student nurse really hits home. This little 10-year-old girl, all alone in the hospital on Thanksgiving, just crying her eyes out. And this young nurse, she was lonely too, working that day. She didn't just feel sorry for her. She sat down, talked about her own loneliness, and then stayed hours after her shift, playing games, talking, just being there. That took real effort, real interest. And the impact on that girl lasted years.
It's about that investment. The sources mention things like the Duke of Windsor learning Spanish for months before a trip to South America, or a salesman who'd always chat with the clerks before seeing the boss. It shows you see them, not just their role.
Okay, so genuine interest first. Then, principle 2 seems almost too simple. Smile.
Right. Sounds a bit trivial. But the book really emphasizes the power of a smile. It sends a clear message, doesn't it? I like you, you make me happy, glad to see you. Universal stuff.
It talks about why dogs are so popular, that pure, unadulterated joy when they see you, or a baby's smile just cutting through tension. They even mention phone power training, teaching people to smile on the phone because you can hear it in their voice. It actually changes the tone.
There's an anecdote about someone thinking the author was this, grumpy guy, until he saw him smile. Then he seemed really human. The book even has this whole philosophy bit, the value of a smile costs nothing, gives so much, remembered long after.
Small action, big impact. Okay, principle 3, this one's huge. Remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language.
Oh, yeah. The examples are powerful. Jim Farley, right, helped get FDR elected. Part of his magic was names. He had a system. Get the full name, details about family, business, hobbies.
Yeah.
Then years later, he'd greet them by name, ask about their kids or their garden, wrote thousands of personal letters using first names.
And that story, Mr. Nicodemus Papadoulos, just breaks your heart. 15 years in America, everyone calls him Nick. Then someone finally learns and uses his full name, and he's moved to tears. He felt seen. FDR did this too, right? Remembering names made people feel important. Forgetting a name or misspelling it, it feels like a snub.
Shows you weren't really paying attention. Ties right back to that first principle, genuine interest. They all kind of link up.
They really do. Okay, principle 4. Another way to make someone feel valued, be a good listener, encourage others to talk about themselves.
Yeah, this flips the script for a lot of people. We think being interesting means talking a lot. But the author tells this story about a dinner party. He mostly just listened, really listened, to this botanist go on and on about plants. Said almost nothing himself. Later, the botanist tells the host the author was a most interesting conversationalist.
Huh. It's that implied flattery of rapt attention. Like Dr. Eliot at Harvard, they said he listened with his eyes as well as his ears, totally focused. The sources give examples too how listening calmed down an angry customer on the phone, turned them around, or that Detmer Woolen Company guy who was so mad but ended up becoming a friend and naming his kid Detmer because the salesman just listened with sympathy.
It's like the quote says, "The royal road to a person's heart is talking about what they treasure most." Edward Bach, the editor, got interviews with famous folks by asking about their childhoods, something they cared about that maybe others didn't ask.
Which flows right into principle 5, talk in terms of the other person's interests.
Find out what lights them up, and steer the conversation there. Even if it's not your thing, like Professor William Lyon Phelps talking boats with an 8-year-old for ages. He didn't care about boats, but the kid did.
The sales example is great too. This guy tries for years to sell fuel to a baker. Talks fuel, 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 nothing. Then he switches, starts talking about bread. The baker's passion. Boom, gets the business almost right away. It wasn't the product, it was connecting on their wavelength. Like Harriman getting that job by talking about the founder's success story.
You gotta arouse an eager want, as Overstreet put it. Figure out their drives, their passions, and connect there. Like Stan Novak getting his kid excited for kindergarten by focusing on what the kid would like, painting, songs, friends, not what the parent wanted.
Right, it's about their world, their desires. Which loops back to that core human drive, principle 6. Make the other person feel important and do it sincerely.
They call it a flaming urge in the source. This deep hunger to feel significant. It's so strong, the book notes, people might even retreat into fantasy or delusion if they don't get that feeling in real life.
And sincerity is the key word. Like John D. Rockefeller Sr. His partner loses $1 million. Instead of yelling, Rockefeller praises him for saving 60% of the investment. Or Alfred Lunt, the famous actor, saying what he needed most was just nourishment for his self-esteem.
We feed our bodies, right? But we often starve that need for appreciation. Paul Harvey's story about the teacher making Stevie Morris, the blind student, feel crucial by asking him to use his amazing hearing to find a lost mouse. Using his unique ability. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and all those little stories drive it home. Chris, the student, blooming when a teacher saw potential. The woman giving away her Packard because someone admired it sincerely. The judge sharing his prize puppy because someone loved his hobby. George Eastman, super rich, just beaming because someone admired his office. Disraeli nailed it. Talk to people about themselves and they will listen for hours.
So those 6 things, genuine interest, smiling, names, listening, talking their interests, making them feel important. It's all about shifting your focus.
Yeah.
Like 100% off yourself onto them. Giving, not getting.
That's a perfect summary. It's not tricks to manipulate people. It's about being someone who genuinely connects with and values others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's about being liked. But the sources also dig into how to handle disagreements, how to win people to your way of thinking. This is maybe a bit more about navigating conflict or different perspectives.
Right. And the very first principle here kind of sets the stage. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it.
That's a tough one, isn't it? The author tells about arguing over a Shakespeare quote at a dinner.
Pointless.
His friend later asks, why prove him wrong? Does that make him like you? Why not let him save face? Arguing almost never works, just makes people dig in their heels.
Yeah, being factually right doesn't mean you win the interaction. The source points out even smart people are only right maybe 55% of the time.
Oh.
If that's us, maybe we shouldn't be so quick to tell someone else you're wrong, like that car salesman who just agreed with the customer's preference first, then talked about his car, sidestepped the whole argument.
Which leads right to principle 2. Show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say, "You're wrong."
Because it's not just a fact check, is it? It feels like an attack on their intelligence, their pride. Their first reaction isn't logic, it's defense. Like the soul says, you can have perfect logic, but if you wound someone's feelings, forget it.
The difference is huge. Like an attorney being gently guided by a Supreme Court justice versus being bluntly told off. Even if they are wrong, being diplomatic, respecting their view first. It just works better.
Okay, so don't tell them they're wrong, but what if you're wrong? Principle 3, if you are wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically.
This one's really powerful. Ben Franklin apparently decided to stop being so argumentative, started using softer language like "I conceive" or "it appears to me." He found it made talks nicer, sure, but also he felt less embarrassed when he was wrong, and people were more open to his ideas when he was right.
Admitting it just deflates the situation. Like the guy at the lumberyard kept agreeing the customers deserved good lumber even while explaining the grading system. Changed the whole vibe. Or the employee who owned his mistake immediately, so much so his boss actually tried to defend him, gained huge respect.
And that story about the Chinese father and son, wow. Tradition said the son should apologize. But the father, using this idea, went to his son, admitted he was wrong, healed a years-long rift. Elbert Hubbard apparently turned critics into allies, but just agreeing with their criticisms of his older work. It's hard to fight someone who agrees with you.
Okay, principle 4 for influencing others. Begin in a friendly way.
Woodrow Wilson put it perfectly, didn't he? If you come at me with fists up, mine will come up too. But if you say, "Hey, let's sit down, talk this through, figure out why we differ," then we can actually connect.
John D. Rockefeller Jr. facing those hostile strikers. Brilliant example. Didn't approach them like the enemy. He framed himself as one of them almost, representing the stockholders, needing their help, spoke warmly, focused on common ground, won them over without fighting, got them back to work.
Principle 5 is the Socratic method, basically. Get the other person saying yes, yes, immediately. Start with questions they have to agree with. Guide them gently toward your conclusion. Don't push.
The bank teller, James Eberson, did this with someone who didn't want an account, didn't argue, just ask questions. Isn't it wise to keep valuables safe? Isn't the bank convenient? Little yeses. Until the person naturally said yes to opening the account, getting a no right at the start just builds a wall, right? Like that Chinese proverb, he who treads softly goes far.
Principle 6. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking.
Back to listening again, but specifically for influence. If someone's got something on their mind, an issue, an idea, they need to get it out. You can't persuade someone who's just boasting to say their piece.
That salesman with laryngitis couldn't talk in the meeting, so the company president he was meeting just talked, showed the samples himself, made the whole pitch. Because the salesman had to listen, the president felt heard, understood, and placed a massive order. And Lori and her mom relationship got way better when the mom stopped ordering and started listening.
Principle 7, let the other person feel that the idea is his or hers. We just trust our own ideas more, don't we?
Totally. Adolf Seltz, the sales manager, his team was down. He didn't give them a pep talk and new targets. He asked them what they expected from him and what he could expect from them. They set the goals, took ownership, felt like their plan. Eugene Resson, the designer losing sales, finally clicked when he let the stylists feel the designs were their ideas, not his.
Like the dad getting his daughter excited for vacation by asking if she wanted to see places from her school lessons, made it her trip idea. Or Colonel House advising President Wilson he'd plant seeds of ideas, let Wilson think they were his own. Smart.
Principle 8. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. That Kenneth Good quote is great. Think how much you care about your stuff and how little you care about everyone else's. Then realize everyone feels the same way. That shift is key.
Sam Douglas's marriage improved when he helped his wife weed the garden. He actually saw her effort, her perspective, Dr. Nierenberg's point too, show them their ideas matter to you. And Carnegie, with the park fire again, stopped ordering the boys, saw their viewpoint, they wanted a fire, felt important, then appealed to their desire to preserve the park. Shared goal, not conflict.
Principle 9. Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. The source says like 3/4 of people are just craving sympathy, thinking, that could be me, helps foster it.
Carnegie getting that angry letter about a mistake on his show. First thing he did was sympathize with how strongly she felt about her hometown. Then he addressed the facts. Or Jay Mangum needing the hotel manager to shut down the escalator for ages. Didn't argue his company's needs. He started with genuine sympathy for the hassle it would cause the manager. Then explained how doing it now prevented a bigger disaster later, appealing to the manager's own interest in smooth operations.
Principle 10. Appeal to the nobler motives. The idea that deep down most people want to see themselves as fair, honest, decent. Appeal to that higher self.
Like J.T. Morgan or Lord Northcliffe apparently did. Rockefeller Jr. asking photographers not to snap his kids by appealing to their desire not to harm children.
Cyrus Curtis getting Louisa May Alcott to write for him even though he couldn't pay top dollar. How? Offered to send the check straight to her favorite charity, appeal to her generosity, or resolving a complaint by saying, adjust this bill as if you were the president of my company, be fair. Appeals to their sense of responsibility.
Principle 11. Dramatize your ideas. Facts are facts, but sometimes you need pizzazz. Showmanship. Make it stick.
Right. Jim Yeamans throwing pennies on the floor. Showed the grocer visually, audibly, how much money he was losing. Way better than a spreadsheet. Or Carnegie dumping, 32 jars of cold cream on a desk? Makes a point about competition unforgettable.
And the last one for winning people over, Principle 12. Throw down a challenge.
This hits that core desire to achieve, to prove yourself, to compete, to win. Charles Schwab and the mill workers. Day shift makes 6 heats, he chalks 6 on the floor. Night shift sees it, makes 7, writes 7. Day shift comes back, sees 7, busts their butts to make 10. Instant motivation through competition.
Or Al Smith getting Laws to take the warden job at Sing Sing. Didn't sell the perks. He highlighted how impossibly hard it was, said he needed an Iron Man, appealed directly to Law's desire to tackle something huge.
It's quite a journey, isn't it? From just avoiding arguments to actively guiding thoughts, appealing to higher motives, even using competition.
Definitely covers a lot of ground. And these aren't just for one-off encounters. The sources make it clear these are fundamental to leadership too. There's a specific section on that, 9 ways to be a leader, building on all this.
Yeah, first one loops right back. Begin with praise and honest appreciation, even when you need to correct someone.
Lincoln's letter to General Hooker. Praised his good qualities first, then mentioned the things he wasn't happy about, softens the blow. Or Mr. Gaw needing that delivery. Didn't demand it. He toured the factory, complimented the guy's unique name, his setup, built rapport before bringing up the deadline.
Principle 2 for leaders. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. Direct criticism, especially public, can be crushing.
Like the bank manager dealing with the teller's errors, didn't say, you keep messing up, praised her speed with customers first, then gently brought up the balancing issue. Or Marge Jacob getting the construction crew to tidy up, just mentioned how nice the finished job would look. Subtle hint.
Principle 3. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Makes you human, makes them more open, shows you're not judging from on high.
Absolutely. Principle 4. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. Big one for leaders. O&D Young, that respected exec. Never ordered. Suggested. Maybe consider this. Think that would work?
Asking saves face. Right. Makes people feel part of the decision. Encourages cooperation, not resentment. Like that angry instructor yelling about the car versus just asking politely. Same result, totally different feeling.
Principle 5. Let the other person save face. So important for dignity for future interactions.
That accounting firm letting seasonal staff go didn't just say, you're done. Praise their hard work during the busy time, express confidence in them. They left feeling valued, not discarded.
And that contrast in meetings. One supervisor grilled and embarrassed. The other boss, when her team member messed up on a new project, took responsibility because it was new, said she trusted the employee to fix it. Saved her face completely.
Principle 6. Praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. That Jess Lair quote again. Praise is like sunlight. We need it to grow.
So many examples. Dickens inspired by one editor's praise. That clerk who became a writer because his mom believed in him. Skinner's research backs it up. Positive reinforcement works way better than punishment. John Ringlespaugh saw big changes praising his kids' small steps.
It's about unlocking potential, right? Criticism makes people shrink. Encouragement helps them blossom.
Principle 7. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. Tell them you believe they are capable of great things. Set the bar high, positively.
Henry Hankey getting better work from his mechanic just by reminding him he was a fine mechanic, appealing to his pride. Marie the dishwasher transformed because someone told her she had treasures within. Dr. Fitzhugh's charwoman, polishing like mad after he praised her skills, gave her that reputation. Mrs. Hopkins making Tommy a leader by telling him he was one.
Principle 8. Use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. Build their confidence. Don't overwhelm them.
The dance teacher saying, "You have a natural rhythm," makes you want to try harder. Ely Culbertson becoming a bridge champ because his wife convinced him he had a flair for it.
The dad helping his son with math made it a game. Celebrated tiny wins. Made it feel doable, not daunting. Like Lowell Thomas making bridge seem easy for the author.
And the last leadership principle, number 9. Make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest. Frame it so it aligns with their interests or values.
Woodrow Wilson inviting McAdoo to the cabinet wasn't "I need you," it was "This prestigious role is yours if you'll do me the favor of accepting." Dale Ferrier getting his son Jeff to pick up pears by making it a fun game to earn money, appealing to the kid's desire.
Yeah, the contrast is clear. You can bark, "Clean the stockroom," or you can explain why company image, efficiency, getting it done now feels good. Doesn't guarantee they'll jump for joy, but makes cooperation way more likely. Improves your effectiveness.
Wow. Okay, that is a seriously comprehensive toolkit. From just meeting someone new to leading a whole team.
It really is. Distills so much about human nature into practical steps. And the applications are everywhere, right? Personal life, work conflicts, sales, job hunting, managing people, you name it.
They're not just theories, they're meant to be used in the real world, in everyday situations. It feels powerful thinking how just focusing on one or two could actually shift things.
Absolutely. Which kind of leads to our final thought, something for you to chew on. Given how much sense these principles make, I mean, who doesn't want to feel important? Who doesn't want to be listened to? And given how clear the benefits seem, why is it often so darn hard for us to actually do these things consistently? Especially when we're stressed or busy or, in the middle of a disagreement.
Maybe that's the challenge. Try picking just one this week. Maybe just consciously smile more at people, or really focus on remembering one new person's name and using it. See what shifts.
Little experiment. Could have big results.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into really mastering human connection.
Thank you for listening. If you found value in this audio, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more powerful content on motivation, habits, and wealth building. New audiobooks and summaries are uploaded every week, so stay tuned and keep growing. This is Neural Wealth, where your mindset meets your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay hungry, and stay inspired.